Send it to me. July. I was just making sure.
Ellie, you're all ready? Serious second. You're good? Good evening. This is the meeting of the City Council. Date is Wednesday, June 4th, 2025. We'll go ahead and get this meeting started. I'm going to ask the clerk of council to call the roll.
Mr. King,
Here.
Mrs. Sacks. Here. Mr. Cooney, Mrs. Wise, Mr. Rock,
Here.
Ms. Marshall, Ms. Weiser. Here.
Is there a motion to excuse the absences of council people, Cooney, the vice mayor, Weiss, and councilperson, Marshall?
So moved. Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. King, seconded by Ms. Weiser. You call the roll?
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mrs. Sacks.
Aye.
Mr. Rock,
Aye.
Ms. Weiser. Aye.
Okay, and if, for all those who are able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. There was a set of minutes that was distributed the other day. Is there a motion to approve? Or any discussion on the minutes first?
Move to approve.
Motion to approve by Ms. Weiser. Is there a second? I'll second. Any discussion on the motion? Not, will the clerk please call roll to approve the minutes?
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mrs. Sacks.
Aye.
Mr. Rock,
Aye.
Ms. Weiser. Aye.
Next on the agenda is additions and removals from the agenda or referrals to committee. Are there any additions or removals? Not, we'll move on to comments from the audience. Anybody from the audience that would like to speak, you're limited to 5 minutes. Please come to the podium, state your name for the record and your address for the record. I think there's a microphone up there, if I'm
Yes.
not mistaken.
It's on the lectern.
To speak into the mic. Is there anybody who would like to address the council tonight?
Microphone.
Please use the microphone.
Hi, my name is Catherine Bransky. I reside at 2227 Edgerton Road. During the summer, you will find me at Purvis Park Pool. And I am here today I sent council my concerns about the pool. I am very disappointed in our reaction to Cleveland Heights requesting use of our pool for 2 to 3 weeks. Our cities share libraries, our cities share schools. We should be able to be a good neighbor and also share a pool for 2 or 3 weeks. Luckily, another city has stepped in for Cleveland Heights, Shaker Heights, and opened their pool. I am asking council to consider opening Purvis Park Pool to Cleveland Heights residents. It is the right thing to do. It is being a good neighbor. Our cities, Cleveland Heights and University Heights, have been trashed in the news recently. Whatever the reason is, I know that there are good people in this city. and the people are the ones who are being hurt. This council had an opportunity to turn that negativity around and make it a positive. Hey, we are going to put politics aside and work for what's best for the people. We're going to help out those Cleveland Heights lifeguards who, you know what, they don't have a job right now, but they might have budgeted it for school or a car. They're not working. We could use them at the Heights, or our pool, if we indeed opened up our pool to our neighboring residents. This story could have wiped out the negativity that is all in the news about Cleveland Heights and University Heights, but you missed your opportunity. You also missed the opportunity to open up communication with the school, with the city, on making swimming available year-round, and also maybe opening up Cumberland Pool and University Heights Pool together to offer more programming, more special programming, more swimming opportunities. So in my email, I quoted one of the best neighbors we've ever had, Mr. Rogers. He is talking about being kind, but I would like to close my statement with a quote from Mr. Rogers that says, "We live in a world in which we need to share responsibility. It's easy to say, it's not my child. It's not my community. It's not my world. Not my problem. Then there are those who see the need and respond. I consider those people my hero. I am asking you to see the problem, respond, and be heroic. Show the city that we are a good neighbor." Thank you.
Would anybody else like to address the council this evening? If not, that will close the item of comments from the audience. And we will open up the next item, which is reports and communication from the mayor and taking of action thereon. Is there a report from the mayor? And the report will be read by Ms. Bremer Fisher. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, members of council. On behalf of Mayor Michael Dillon Brennan, I, Deanna Bremer Fisher, present the mayor's report for this evening's meeting. Mayor Brennan is traveling to the annual Greater Cleveland Elected Leadership Conference of local elected officials hosted by Ohio's congressional delegation, which includes policy briefings and meetings with administration officials and meetings with the members of Congress representing Greater Cleveland, including Representative Shontel Brown. This evening, the mayor is in Washington, D.C. Monday, May 26th was the Memorial Day Parade and commemoration ceremony. It was a success. The mayor would like to thank one more time for the record some of the people who helped make the event successful. Starting with our city council members, 4 of whom were in attendance that day: Chris Cooney, Sherry Sachs, Michelle Weiss, and Wynn Weiser. Public officials also joining us that day: Shaker Heights Municipal Court Judge Ann Walton Keller, Cleveland Heights University Heights School Board members Malia Lewis, Jody Serini, Gabe Crenshaw, Dan Hines, and Phil Trimble. Thank you to Parade Grand Marshal Rosa Malin, owner of Los Arcos Mexican Cochina, who was a great supporter of our first responders, especially following the August 6, 2024 storm, as well as the Heights of Greater Cleveland Rotary Club and its causes. Co-Citizens of the Year, the Citizens Advisory Committee on Sustainability, Jeffrey Pearl, Elizabeth Engelhart, Lori Albright, Charlie Schreier, Mike Lonsdale, Emma Shook, Scott Urban, Lee Crumrine, and Micah Meliscus. Reverend Anita Kazarian and Reverend Randy Partain, who delivered the invocation and benediction respectively. The University Heights Symphonic Band. Cleveland Heights University Heights City School District for allowing the city to the use of the Garrity Elementary School building and grounds. Superintendent Elizabeth Kirby, Director of Business and Operations George Petcack, and Building Custodian Jarius McQuarter. Members of the City Service Department, Assistant Service Director Chuck Steinley, together with Bruno Indoko, Kenny Beck, Joe Cardarella, David Hager, and Steve Tizano, and to all the team at the City Service Department, especially those who were in over the weekend and on the morning of the parade and ceremony. The University Heights Fire Department, as well as the South Euclid Fire Department, the University Heights Police Department and Auxiliary, Local for Music Performance Trust Fund, Robin Van Leer, who brought her creative influence to the University Heights Memorial Day Parade this third consecutive year, my Chief of Staff, Deanna Bremer Fisher, who led the way working with our Memorial Day Planning Committee and brought all of this together. Special mention and thank you to our city interns, Beth Manning, Micah Bender, and Aaron Gilwacki. Memorial Day Planning Committee members, including Hartley Bromhill Love, Deanna Bremer Fisher, Ron Collier, Communications and Civic Engagement Director Mike Cook, Councilmember Chris Cooney, Rich Freed, Robin Gernsheimer, Wendy Gernsheimer, Jerry Jacobson, Mitch Liebsa, Renee Morel, Annie Rawlinson, Ed Rychek, Dr. Alicia Sloan, and Sean Weiss. Finally, thank you to our keynote speaker, Sergeant Wayne Robertson, Marine Corps retired, who gave a personal and poignant address, which received an extending standing ovation from all in attendance. Thank you, one and all, including our veterans and residents for whom we put on this event every year for 59 years so far. This Sunday, June 8th, is the Three City Bike with the Mayor event. Join University Heights, Cleveland Heights, and South Euclid for a ride between and among our three cities. Meet us at the Walt at 1:30 p.m. for a planned ride that will begin at 2 o'clock. Come early as we have some University Heights branded bicycle caps to give away, suitable for wearing under your helmet for additional sun protection. There are only 150 caps, so caps are available while supplies last. This summer's Yoga in the Park begins this Tuesday, June 10th at 6 p.m. at the Walt. Yoga in the Park is provided by the city at no charge to participants. Yoga in the Park will be every Tuesday, weather permitting, through September. Since the subsidized citywide composting drop-off program began on May 1st, the number of participants in the program has grown from 79 to 317 households. The volume of composting has more than doubled. Another cart will be added to accommodate increased volume. Good job to all who are participating. We have room for more capacity, and it is not too late to sign up and drop off composting in this pilot program. Visit the city website to sign up. Finally, thanks to another generous grant from the Cuyahoga County Solid Waste District, there is a recycling postcard being mailed to all residents addressing the issue of the leading contaminant in our recycling, plastic bags. Though Waste Management has told us that our contamination levels are among the best, if not the best, among its customers, we still can do better about not putting plastic bags in our recycling carts. Plastic bags can jam up the recycling equipment and bring the operation to a standstill. Remember, carts are in and bags are out. Postcards should hit mailboxes later this month. Thank you. This concludes the mayor's report.
Thank you. Please.
Thank you very much. The Memorial Day Parade, especially the ceremony, was outstanding and very heartfelt and pretty much brought everyone to tears. So I appreciated that very much, and I look forward to all the events that you'll be working on, and that's great. You did mention that the mayor referred to you as chief of staff. Do you consider yourself chief of staff?
That is the title that the mayor has given me, yes.
Is that the title? Do we have a chief of staff job description? Do you have a job description that says chief of staff?
Yes.
You do.
Mhm.
I'd like that to be provided perhaps to the council. I don't recall that being on our list and having a job description of that title. Okay, more to talk about. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Ms. Bremer Fisher.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is reports and communications from the city council and the taking of action thereon. I have no report. Does anybody from the council have anything to address? Okay, then we'll move on to reports and communication from the directors, starting with the new director of finance.
Hello. I just wanted to say hello to everybody and starting my third week. It's been going very well. if I don't report on something that you generally do hear or you would like to hear, please let me know going forward. And my one question, when do you want me to discuss anything related to the tax budget now or when we get to it on the agenda?
We'll do that for the agenda item.
Okay.
So
That,
in this part of the report, you can give any kind of feedback of city finances, anything that's coming up, I think we should be aware of, that sort of thing. And then anything that refers to an agenda, we could discuss during the
During the
agenda item.
got it. Thank you. Just last month, we did receive our retainer reconciliation from Rita. So we got back $231,000. This is what they kind of estimate our costs to be the year before. And then when we exceed that during the reconciliation, we do receive generally a refund every year. Our revenues are pacing really well as far as I can see. And I'll bring that up when we get to the tax budget. We did see quite an increase in property taxes related to the sexennial assessments. And other than that, I'm just getting ready, meeting with all the departments and getting to know everyone. And so far, everything's been going well. So if I can ever answer anything, please reach out anytime.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Any questions for the finance director? No. Okay, we'll move on to the law department. Our law director, please.
I have no report. Mr.
report. Okay, next, police. Fire.
Good evening. Just two items to report tonight. We'll have it in our upcoming monthly report, but we completed all of our spring hydrant flushing and flowing. We flow tested about 55 hydrants and flush and inspected another 500. No water mains were broken this time around. That was always a good thing. We did find about a half dozen issues with hydrants. Those were all reported to Cleveland Water. We have work tickets in for repairs for those. We also completed our annual fire hose testing. We conducted testing on 7,300 feet of fire hose and only one 50-foot section failed. So doing pretty good as far as the condition of our fire hose goes. And then just prior to this meeting, I emailed out our 2024 annual report, highlighting all the outstanding work done by our members. And as always, we appreciate all the support that you guys give us to provide such great services to our residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, service, Mr. Pennington.
Thank you. Tonight, just a really brief report on our current recycling efforts.
You could, if you could mute your screen, please.
Thank you. Tonight, just a really brief report on current recycling efforts.
How do you do that? Didn't know you were a ventriloquist.
Can we just like mute the computer so we don't hear it?
It's red again. Hot mics on Zoom. Nope. Nope.
I think there's a delay and his microphone's on and it's picking up. All right, that should be
Oh, no.
testing 1, 2, 3. Mr. Pennington, please continue.
Well, let's try this again.
There we are.
Just want to give a brief update on our recycling efforts. Currently, we are at 2,643 residents having parts distributed to them. And we will.
There is a delay. I think that's the problem. Okay, we
Okay.
fixed.
Anyway, we have 2,643 carts that have been distributed to residents with another 13 to be distributed currently. We are still taking opt-ins for the recycling program and continue to do so. This past month, we had just under 40 tons of recycling processed. during the month of May. So we are doing quite well with our recycling and look forward to bringing more residents in and increasing the amount of recycling that we process.
It's great.
Here's my report.
Question? Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Pennington, I've asked in the past and I'm going to ask again. Would you please give us those numbers in writing? I asked for, I believe, the past couple of months and I still have not received anything.
Sure, I will get that together for you. I just received that email, I believe, this morning from Waste Management on the latest number. So I will get that to you and summarize.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pennington. Next up, building. Do you have a report? Okay, thank you. How about housing and community development?
No report this evening, just a few updates from the department. The housing department is in month 2 of the exterior inspection scheduled to conclude on July 15th. We're working with CitizenServe on updates and changes to the portal. We're one step closer to the completion of the module for the apartments. We're streamlining our long-term rental process and reporting. Couple of recent staff changes, formerly with Safe Build, Inspector Dominic is now with the city, and we have a new commercial inspector, Roland Walker. I met with the prosecutor to review and prepare cases to be filed.
Ms. Weiser?
Ms. Davis, how many cases for filing?
5.
5. Thank
Yes.
you.
Mhm.
Will you supply us with a report on that, please?
Of the cases to be
Yeah,
filed.
what you're gonna file, so we have some idea in case we get a call from a resident about a residence. If we know something's in process, then we can just tell them something's in process.
Okay,
I mean, we don't need the details, at least knowing where those houses
okay.
are helpful because it's summer and we're gonna get more complaints about vacant homes that are now causing problems. I have one more to send you tomorrow morning. So,
Okay.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next up, city engineer.
Good evening. I just wanted to let you know that the street repair program was advertised last week. And I have 3 bidders so far that have requested plans. And also 3 bidders for the pavement marking program, which is also, so both are going to be opened next Friday. And then I will try to turn around and get the bid recommendation to Kelly and so that you guys will have it for June 16th meeting. Silsby Water Main, they have pavement that they have to finish and the contractor today told me hopefully by the end of next week, maybe sooner, weather dependent, and his subcontractor who's doing the concrete and asphalt. So we're getting closer. There was a water main break last week. I sent an email about that. So hopefully Cleveland Water said they're going to pay for it, but we'll probably have to pay the contractor and then get reimbursed from CWD when we do our final reconciliation on that project. So any questions?
Any questions?
I'm just glad the bids are coming in finally. Yay.
know.
Thank you.
Next up, communications and civic engagement. I do not see Mr. Cook. Does anybody have a report for him? Not, I'll move on to economic development.
Evening, Council. I just want to see, I don't know if we received a date yet. A doodle poll was sent out for the Economic Development Committee, so we could do a final meeting to send our final recommendations to the consultant so that we can get our final draft, I guess. I know you had dates. I didn't hear anything
I
back.
can answer you.
Okay.
Yeah, we got results back. There's no,
Not a good date.
yeah, there was
Two more
no
dates.
consensus. on a date. So I have to get a new poll out with some new dates.
So my
That's
report is
unfortunate,
we are
but-
sending out a new poll for the economic.
Thank you. We will share that report tonight.
So, but we do, so yeah, if we could, I don't throw out several dates just to hopefully
That's what I'll do.
get, so we can wrap this up. The consultant is waiting for a response. Yes.
And we really just need the economic development committee. We don't need the whole zoning, because I think we just need to tighten it up with the council members, so.
Well, every meeting technically is economic development.
Mhm.
Remember, we do that just for quorum purposes. So as long as, even if you send it to everyone, as long as you have a quorum with the economic development committee members, we're good to go.
Right.
Okay, excellent. And then my second part is, I'm working with a developer right now who is, with John Carroll, how they are doing the end cap on Warrensville Center Road as proposed in the new zoning code. I'm working with a new developer who has another cap. So you might be seeing a plan coming through as early as July in Planning Commission for a mixed use end cap on Warrensville Center Road at another corner. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so it's something exciting to look forward to, possibly in the July meeting to come, because the new code has not been approved. They may come for discussion purposes first, just because it's hard to give them concrete responses when I don't know what code, right now we're going off the current code, but if we want them to follow the new code, I said, I think it's better to get some feedback from planning, as John Carroll did.
Would we, because we've got to finish the new code,
Mhm.
would we finish in time for them to come in on the new code, or would they have to come in and ask variances to match the new code?
Yeah, so right now, anyone that comes with an application has to apply under our current code.
Right.
But if we know this is what we want for example, the Warrensville Center Road District, in the new code, what John Carroll is following, they would build to that. So although they may need some variances, we know it's going to be, it would
That it would
comply with
match the new code,
code.
so.
Right.
okay.
So that's why I did suggest to them, it may be better off going for discussion purposes first. Because they're asking me they want a specific answer about setbacks, and it could be two different answers. So I think it's best
Sure.
coming from people, especially number one, that vote on it. And number two, can give more direction from that commission. And then since you have a council rep on planning as well, it's a good way to give them good direction of how to go. So we could see that as early as
great.
July.
That's great news. And with planning commission as part of the zoning committee, they're familiar, at least with the new codes that are proposed. They've been given that
Exactly.
information, so we can
Yep.
all work off of that.
Perfect. Excellent.
Appreciate
That's
it.
all I have. Thank you.
Great, thank you. I think that's it for reports, communications from directors. We're going to go into reading and disposition of ordinances, resolutions, and motions. First one on the agenda is resolution 2025-30, recognizing June 2025 as Pride Month in the city of University Heights. And
That's it.
well, we can't declare an emergency, so
Yeah, this would be on
we
first
amend the
reading.
agenda for that then?
Well, it would be on first reading. We don't have
On
the
first
votes to be able to suspend.
Okay, and since Ms. Weiser
Don't do this to me. Well,
put together this wonderful ordinance that we all co-sponsor, I would like for you to read it if you're so interested. If not, I'll read it.
No, well, your dulcet tones are so good. Okay.
I think it's important. It should be read though.
Okay. This is a joint proclamation and resolution recognizing June 2025 as Pride Month in the city of University Heights and declaring an emergency. Whereas the city of University Heights is a diverse community composed of people from all walks of life and a multitude of backgrounds living together in harmony. And whereas in 2023, the city of University Heights amended its charter to include a section on anti-discrimination for all segments of our society. And whereas the people who make up the LGBTQIA plus community, being people who identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, questioning, queer, intersex, asexual, aromatic, together with their allies, are our friends, neighbors, friends, family, and neighbors, seeking acceptance for who they are within the greater community. And whereas with the Stonewall Uprising in 1969, thus began the modern civil rights movement for individuals. And this movement has made significant progress in the pursuit of equal rights and protections under the law. And whereas in 2020, the mayor and all members of city council jointly sponsored and enacted an ordinance prohibiting discrimination against the LGBTQIA individuals in employment and public accommodations, joining Cuyahoga County and other select communities around Ohio, while state and federal governments continue to fail to offer these same protections against discrimination. And whereas the city of University Heights has raised the pride flag at City Hall every June since the 2019 commemoration of the 50th anniversary in Stonewall in celebration of Pride Month. And whereas the month of June is widely recognized as Pride Month in communities throughout our nation. And whereas the arc of the moral universe is long, but nevertheless bends towards justice, and the virtuous pursuit of justice must be tireless and relentless. And whereas the LGBTQIA plus community has come under challenges again in 2025 from individuals who seek to limit their rights as citizens. And whereas it is the strong desire of the city of University Heights to continue to create a welcoming community for all people, regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression. Ensure that residents in this city feel safe, empowered, and supported by their peers and community leaders, and lead by example until our state and country implement the same protections against discrimination that we have in this city. Now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and council of the city of University Heights, Ohio, that Section 1, the mayor and council hereby jointly proclaims and declares June 2025 as LGBTQIA Pride Month in the city of University Heights, and pledges their support for the city's LGBTQIA plus residents. Section 2, the clerk of council is hereby instructed to distribute notice of the passage of this resolution in the usual and customary manner. Section 3, council finds and determines that all formal actions of this council relating to the adoption of this resolution have been taken at open meetings of this council, and that the deliberations of this council and its committees resulting in such formal action took place in meetings open to the public and or in compliance with all statutory requirements, including the requirements of section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Section 4, this resolution is declared to be an emergency measure necessary for the preservation of the public peace, safety, health, and welfare of the citizens of the city of University Heights, because this council desires for this resolution to be effective as soon as possible in the month of June. Therefore, this resolution shall become effective upon its passage by the affirmative vote of not less than 5 members of council and the approval of the mayor. Otherwise, it shall become effective at the earliest time allowed by law.
Thank you. This is great. So this will be on first reading. Is there any comments or anything, Mr. King?
Thank you, Mr. Rock. And first, I just wanted to thank Councilwoman Weiser for putting this together. I really appreciate it. I have a couple questions for the law director. First, we have this on first reading. Is it because of the emergency clause in there, or because of?
No, we can't suspend the rules. So in order to suspend the rules and waive the second reading, we need 5 votes.
Okay, all right, thank
And
you.
it's a resolution, so it would be effective immediately if you get 5
Anyway.
votes, whether it's emergency or not.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? All right. Thank you again. We'll reconvene at the next meeting to go over that one more time. And then the next item is resolution 2025-31. Expressing opposition to anti-Semitism, declaring support for the city's Jewish community. This is not on emergency.
But we
still
suspend
can't.
the
Can't
rules.
suspend the rules. Okay. Would anybody be interested? So this will be on first reading. Would anybody be interested in reading this? I think it's important. Oh, sure.
Pro tem. What shall I call you?
That works.
No, you're the pro tem. I had emailed to all of the council and the law director an amended copy of this particular resolution. And if you would bear with me, I would like to explain where it came from to begin with. I I actually wrote this resolution. And I did it for a reason. I have to admit, I tend to be a bit sensitive to items that deal with the Jewish community. Full disclosure, my good Catholic family has a number of Jewish members by marriage. The rise in anti-Semitism is personal to us. For that reason, words have meaning. When they are publicly used against a minority group, any minority group, they give people who hate a reason to act out. The smaller the group, the more likely the actions happen. Current events in the Heights have opened those doors, in my opinion. We have had some issues here in University Heights as well over the past year. In thinking about this, I became concerned enough to start work on this resolution as a way for council to make a statement before anything else might happen here. It basically called upon our residents to stand with us, as well as putting meaning to what we voted to put into our charter 2 years ago. And I certainly thank Councilman King for reminding me about that. Little did I know that the events in Boulder, Colorado would occur on Sunday the 1st, highlighting the danger that our Jewish neighbors live in every day. When this resolution made it to the agenda, I discovered a change had occurred. Suddenly, it was not introduced by council. It was now introduced by the mayor, and then secondarily as council as a whole. Another council member had contacted me when they read this, and they actually asked me to remove this from the agenda. I discussed this with the law director, and then I discussed it with that council member. And what I decided to do, because this was my resolution to begin with, was to amend it slightly. It has made it, the amendment is only in 3 places. And what it does, it moves it back to being introduced by the council and Mayor Michael Dillon Brennan. This may seem small, and I certainly regret that a situation arose that made this necessary to do. June actually is a month where we all should be very aware of the challenges that all of our minority communities face every day. It's Pride Month. It's the month we celebrate Juneteenth. And it's also a month where we need to begin to think and to really deal with things that we have. This council is amazingly representative of the community that we live in. We are a very, very diverse council. And I think it's important for us to lead in this regard. I'll end with a quote from an author that we all need to consider. Hate comes in many forms. Some forms are more dangerous than others. The quote is this: polite hate is the most dangerous of hate. It loads the gun and then just quietly backs away. That's by Mary Catherine Backstrom. If you want, I'm happy to read the amended version, but it would take, I'd move that we would adopt or
Yeah,
move to
make the
amend,
motion to amend the ordinance.
move to amend the resolution, to the
resolution.
newer copy, to the copy that was sent.
Okay, so there's a motion to amend the resolution. Is there a second?
I second.
And seconded by Councilperson Sachs. We'll call for, actually, is there any discussion on the motion? I hear none. Can you please call roll on the amendment to the resolution, to amend the resolution?
Will there be discussion after?
We can do discussion afterwards, yes.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mrs. Sacks.
Aye.
Mr. Rock,
Aye.
Ms. Weiser.
Aye.
Okay, so that has been amended, and I'll allow you to read the
Okay.
amended version.
And just so everyone knows, it'll be on second reading the next.
Right.
And just to full disclosure, I did not send this to either Councilwoman Sacks or Vice Mayor Weiss. Okay. Before, they had no idea this was going on the agenda until it appeared. Resolution 2025-31, introduced by City Council as a whole and Mayor Michael Dillon Brennan. A resolution expressing opposition to anti-Semitism and declaring support for the city's Jewish community. Whereas through its existence, the city of University Heights has worked to embrace the diversity of its residents. And whereas that diversity includes ethnicity, race, national origin, orientation, physical challenges, and religion. And whereas in 2023, the city amended its charter to include anti-discrimination protections for all segments of our society. And whereas the city has stood with its minority residents when their safety and security is challenged. And whereas the city has a large proportion of residents of the Jewish faith. And whereas the city's Jewish residents contribute their time, energy, and expertise in assisting the city and serving on council committees, boards, and commissions. And whereas throughout the United States, there has been a rise in anti-Semitism resulting in threats and violence against our Jewish neighbors. And whereas in our immediate area, in words and deeds, the Jewish community has been maligned and individual members of the Jewish community have been singled out. And whereas these actions have led to a rise in fear and concern for safety within our Jewish community. And whereas the council and mayor desire to address any fear on the part of our Jewish neighbors regarding their safety within our city limits and express its commitment to keep members of the city's Jewish community safe from expressions of hate and physical harm. Now therefore be it resolved by the council and mayor of the city of University Heights that the council and mayor hereby affirm their support for the city's Jewish residents and declare that the city and community will not tolerate expressions of hate against the city's Jewish residents. Section 2, the clerk of council is hereby instructed to distribute notice of the passage of this resolution in the usual and customary manner. Section 3, council finds and determines that all formal actions of this council relating to the adoption of this resolution have been taken at open meetings of the council and deliberations of this council and as its committees resulting in such formal action took place in meetings open to the public and or in compliance with all statutory requirements, including the requirements of section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Section 4, this resolution shall be effective as of the earliest date permitted by law.
Have any comments, Ms. Sacks?
It means so much to me that, and I hope for our Jewish residents, that Councilwoman Weiser took the initiative and then worked with all members of our diverse council to create this very meaningful resolution, because words matter, modeling matters. Hopefully we can be a model for other communities that are struggling with this. Communities that believe anti-Semitism is a perspective, but it's not that complicated. It's just plain, clear hate. Because when hate becomes normalized and truth is silenced, it's not just one community that fails, it's humanity. And we can start right here, healing, moving forward, and protecting each other, holding each other up, and being a better community because of that. Thank you to my fellow colleagues and council from the bottom of my heart.
Other comments? Again, this is on first reading. I believe this will pass at our next meeting. Move on to item C, resolution 2025-24, adopting the alternative 2026 tax budget. This is also on first reading. I'll open the floor to our new finance director.
Thank you. I'm sure most of you are familiar, all of you are familiar with passing a tax budget. It's a housekeeping measure that we are sending to the county, showing them that the millage that we are assessing is justified based on our expenditures. So we have no changes. The memo on top, I worked with Dennis, but I didn't take his name off because I don't want to take credit. So this is this last memo to you. There's no change from the previous amount. We're at 9.15 and then overall 13.2. So looking through it, it's a very general operating budget, just showing that these revenues are necessary for our operating expenses. And again, the number I think is still somewhat conservative of what we will actually receive. I believe last year's tax budget, we put in, it was under 5 million for the entire year in property tax collection. And so far this year, our first disbursement was almost 3.2 million. So even the amount that is in here now is lower than what we may actually see, and that's all because of the reappraisal.
Are there any questions?
I think you're off to a good start.
Hey, I can't fail with Dennis doing it for me, right? But it is due in July, so in the effort to, because of the recess, I would ask if you could pass it at the next meeting on second reading.
No questions or comments. I'll move on to, we'll consider this first reading and I'll move on to the next item, which is item D. Motion to accept the Ohio Department of Public Safety Office of Criminal Justice Services 2025 Body Worn Camera Sub-Grant Award, number 2025-BW-LEC-56598 in the amount of $44,000. I will open up the floor to our police chief.
Thank you, Councilperson Rock. A little background and context. Our body worn camera program has been in place since approximately 2016. Since then, that type of tool has really become an industry standard in law enforcement, and it has without a doubt been invaluable for us to utilize in the field to support our operations. The 44,000 award before you is our third grant award to support our body worn camera program over the past 4 years. As you can see from the packet, there is no city match required. The funds can be used for anything from hardware to software to support to training to data storage for our body worn camera program. And as a result in how this type of grant funding is supported our program, I respectfully request for council to authorize the acceptance of this $44,000 award.
Are there any questions for the police chief? I just have one. So how many cameras would this buy, or what other equipment do you have earmarked?
So we typically have about 35 body worn cameras in our inventory. At any given time, there can be a few that are down or needing replacement or maintenance. We have 30 officers, and we replace a few a year based on the current schedule. And each camera cost initially about $1,000. After that first year, the remaining expense that's ongoing is for the support, the data storage, and the software. So a rough estimate, that's about $700 per camera going forward every year. At about 35 cameras, that's $25K a year just in the back end support and data storage. So that, in addition with having to replace a few every year, we're looking at at probably about $30,000 to $33,000 per year. You'll also notice that this specific grant award has a 2-year period or closeout period. I believe it closes out in August 29th of 26. So again, it's just utilized to support our ongoing operations and expenses as they come up.
So it sounds like we'll be able to use all of that and there's no.
We will use it.
So
Yeah.
it's the 100% grant. Yeah.
We will
it's
use
great.
it.
It's awesome. Any other questions, comments? Okay.
We can move to accept this, correct?
Can we?
Correct.
Yeah. I'd like to make the motion,
Would you like to make the motion
I
to
would.
accept? Okay.
make the motion to accept.
Motion by Ms. Sachs. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. King. Any comments on the motion? If not, we'll
Just
call
thank
the.
you, chief, for all you do
Thank you for the support.
and the force.
I also would just like to say we have tremendous administrative and support staff that do a great job with these grant
Yes.
applications. I am not stealing the credit or the thunder from them. They work
Thank
a
you.
lot on these applications and it's very involved.
Phenomenal.
Okay, I'll call a roll on the motion to accept the grant.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mrs. Sacks.
Aye.
Mr. Rock,
Aye.
Ms. Weiser.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
Thank you, Counselor.
Congratulations. Okay, next up on our agenda is item E. It's a motion to approve the increased request for the 2025 recreation entertainment budget of $10,000 for a budget increase from 95,000 to 105,000. Ms. Bremer Fisher, I take it you'll read on this one?
Yes, so as you know, this is a request for an increase of $10,000 to the recreation and entertainment budget. If you'll recall, last fall, when we were going through the budgeting process, the recreation entertainment budget was cut by $45,000. And at the time, there was discussion about, well, what if we get grants? What if we get sponsorships for events? So I'm pleased to report that the Juneteenth event is again being sponsored by Dollar Bank, and they've come in again at a $10,000 presenting sponsorship. And so that is the reason for our request tonight.
One thing I just want to bring up first, you had mentioned that there was a discussion of increasing the budget. I know that's something that I had brought up in committee. I don't speak for the whole committee, but I do want to mention that I did say I'm open to the idea of increasing the entertainment budget if additional grant money or additional donations are made. One thing I do want to reiterate, though, is when we did do the budget, we already had in mind that Dollar Bank would be giving that donation. And that's already in our budget, line item 100-1330-44559 for Juneteenth event revenue. So we already accounted for that and recognized that revenue. So I was more along the line saying anything additional, we would, for me, I would support increasing the budget for events if I saw anything additional. I'm just one person here, though, so I will open up the floor if anybody else has any other comments regarding this agenda item. Ms. Weiser.
The total, and I don't have the budget in this computer. The total for events that we approved was 95,000. Did it include the 10,000? Is the 10,000 a part of the 95,000 is what I,
So from my recollection, well, first of all, the 10,000 is the revenue, so that's gonna follow a revenue line item.
yeah.
That is recognized in this budget. So when we prepared the budget, we had already assumed we were gonna get 16,000 for Juneteenth. And then we have the expense line items, which is all events. So is anybody,
So it's in the budget.
the
which means
revenue is in the
The
budget?
revenue's in the budget, so it can be spent. Am I correct? It can be spent on the events portion.
The line item for the revenue line item, I'm seeing as Juneteenth event revenue, 16,000. So that 10 can go towards,
Oh,
well, it's
yeah, because we
it's
project.
getting coded. When the check comes in, it's gonna get coded to that line item.
Right, I think the grant was probably given on the condition it be used for Juneteenth.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's the
yes.
understanding.
So it's part of that 16,000, because that's what they
Right.
brought in last year as donations.
sponsorships, whatever.
Yeah.
But
So
the
we
question
budgeted
is-
the same.
The question is, we appropriated only 95,000 for all events.
For all events on the expense line, yes, regardless of that revenue is already, because there's other revenue on this
Yeah,
line item.
what I'm getting
Yeah.
at is this. They are, they, the administration is authorized and can spend up to $95,000 on all of the events, however they wanted to distribute it. What they are saying is even though the 10,000 is sitting in the revenue line, they want it showing as a part of the appropriated money because they can't go over $95,000 in spending. So and you're right, I remember during the course of that discussion and the previous year's discussions, we have always ended up in this gray area of, well, here's what was appropriated. Can they go over it because they got a donation? And I can't, oh my, this is terrible. Today, I can't remember what we decided, to be honest with you. I would imagine we might have it in the minutes for the finance committee for the budget hearing. See if I have. Poor Kelly. If it. Maybe we need to look at that. And unfortunately, the vice mayor is not here tonight, which means the chair of the finance committee is not here. Is there a reason why this has to be decided today? Have you spent $95,000 yet?
Well, no, because the events are throughout the summer and.
Right. So you haven't spent to the appropriated amount.
That's correct.
So at this moment in time, we don't have to pass this yet, and we can go back and take a look and get that clarified and deal with it at the next meeting. Because it's not going to change the 95. The 95 is still sitting there. You can still spend. That's not hindering spending. You look perplexed, Mr. King.
I am a bit, but I think it's a bit presumptive when we were doing the budget to assume that Dollar Bank would again sponsor at a $10,000 level.
Yeah. We shouldn't have shown anything there, but we already show it on that side of the, and in defense of us, we didn't show that. That came to us from the administration. I'm not picking on you guys, but, and we can't pick on you anyway. But, yeah,
I'm trying to remember how we got to
remember.
the 95. We started the discussion with what was proposed by administration. I
which
know
is
that number.
significantly higher.
Yes, it came down. I remember us meeting somewhere in the middle, somewhere around 95. With the idea in mind that there's 30,000 budgeted for revenue to help offset some of these costs. For me personally, I felt it was fine to increase the budget if we got over and above what we were going to expect in donations. Of course, if this is going to be this huge success and, dozens of people would donate, I would like to see that money used towards the event. So that's where I'm just a little lost. I don't remember where we got to that point, but it is budgeted. So that's, when I saw this on the agenda, I thought we already included the 10,000. Now you were in those meetings too. Do you remember something
Actually, I don't
differently?
remember any discussion about the revenue side and, that would have been something that although departments have input to, I know that I certainly didn't see, final of what was presented. I can say that there was certainly no guarantee that we would have received such a generous sponsorship from Dollar Bank for the second year in a row. I didn't expect that we would. So I was very pleased when we met with Dollar Bank and they were able to tell us that they were able to extend this sponsorship to us again. I can tell you that we have been very conservative about spending on all of our events this year and budgeting for them. As you may know, with the Memorial Day Parade and commemoration ceremony, there were no after parade activities this year. That was one of the decisions that we made, was not to spend dollars on those activities. We have one fewer summer concert this year than we did last year. So we're making these decisions as we go along and planning. If we've only got 95, this is how we're going to spend it. With the Juneteenth, as I said, we weren't expecting to get this sponsorship. We already had, by the time we did the budget, a commitment from the Ohio Arts Council for the $5,000 grant for this event. And we also had the NOPEC sponsorship of $2,000 for this event. But the $10,000 was something, we were hoping that they would continue to sponsor at some level, but we didn't expect that they would be able to be so generous again. So we were very pleased with this. We've been very conservative with the Juneteenth budget. The committee in particular would like to expand the children's activities that we're offering at this event. Time is getting very short. Our event is on June 21st. So we're trying to make some decisions here, and this is the reason for the request tonight.
Mr. King?
Thank you, Mr. Rock. So you mentioned a number of grant sources that we've gotten funding from. We also have vendors at the event, and they pay to, do we have any sort of revenue numbers for the vendors?
Yes, we have at least $520 for vendors so far for the Juneteenth event, and I do expect more to be coming in.
Okay.
I'd be happy to look back in all of Dennis's records. I'm sure he has thorough breakdowns on when he was putting together the revenue budget, where exactly that money was coming from. So
Okay.
before you scour minutes and everything else, tomorrow I can
Why don't we
take a
do
look and
that?
see if I have something kind of at my fingertips I can provide.
That seems to make sense. And I'm only because it's a 5-figure 10% change, it's probably worth looking at what was really discussed. I'm fine if I'm wrong, but I just want to make sure we
Yeah.
tighten this up. So
Absolutely.
I know the donation side did get discussed. I know that. But in all honesty, I can't remember how we decided to handle it. I think a part of the discussion was that, at least we get grants in and we would revisit them, I would think. It's just, since you brought it up, it's like, I'd like to go back and take a look at some of my notes as well. I honestly did not go crawling through
yeah.
a ton of notes that I have from back then.
And the NOPEC grant is a separate line item. It's just NOPEC sponsorship grant proceeds. Doesn't necessarily mean it's towards Juneteenth on the budget, but it's reflected in the budget too. So why don't we, this is not a no, but why don't we just table and get the information from the finance director so we can make a better sound decision. I would feel more comfortable with that. So I'll make that, before I make a motion, I'll entertain your comments, Mr. King.
Thank you, Mr. Rock. Remembering the conversation, I'm not on the finance committee, but I was there. I don't particularly remember the conversations on the revenue side, but I do recall conversations on the getting additional grant funding. And given that this is specifically for Juneteenth, and they want to enhance that specific event, they want it to be a greater event. I really think that increasing the budget this evening would allow for the administration to honor that commitment by Dollar Bank to enhance the Juneteenth celebration in University Heights. I personally, I would like to make a motion to amend the budget.
There's a question here because I'm listening and you're listening. It's not just this. We have a NOPEC grant for 2,000. We have that also apparently is showing for Juneteenth. We have, how much, you
Ohio.
said there's like 16,000.
There was 16 plus.
Went
two.
I made a motion. Is there a second?
Revenue side. So actually, the NOPEC grant does not fit into the, if you're, hang on. We have traditionally used the NOPEC grant, if I remember correctly, to offset when we bring in, Carlos Jones. And Jones got moved from one of the summer concerts into the Juneteenth, right? If I remember,
Carlos
I'm
Jones
doing
is
this right,
and
right?
are-
Okay,
is
here's what I do remember.
Performing at this year's.
And
13th.
that 2,000 really didn't have anything to do with Juneteenth or the recreation budget because we just always have used it for that. So, and here's where it might get a little dicey, but there's $2,000 there. That's the NOPEC grant. That's a separate line item that potentially you could use towards that because it's going to take Carlos Jones out of the mix or a portion of his fee out of the mix. But you need to look to see if we would have to deal with the appropriation or if we're handling that differently. It seems to me we always have to vote on that grant being used for that specific performer. So if it's used for the specific performer, that performer is no longer a part of the Juneteenth expenses. Do you understand where I'm coming from here?
I don't believe that has to be used for a specific purpose. It's a grant given from NOPEC for community, any type of.
Yeah,
community
we realize that, but we have in the past
Used it for
used that for that specific purpose, and I believe we've used it for two. We used it when we used to run the NOPEC grant through the CIC. And we did it there, and then we moved it out to the council when
Yeah.
issues.
If I can kind of weigh in, if I
Please,
remember
if you could.
correctly, last year, there was a specific budget related to just to Juneteenth activity.
Right.
That was in past
Yeah.
years. So the change in this year's budget was the 95,000 appropriated for all events that the administration has at their disposal to spend however they want. Now, I'm presuming this Dollar Bank grant was given specifically to be used for Juneteenth.
Right.
But like you said, the administration's free to spend whatever they want, within that $95,000 right now and allocate whatever they would like to Juneteenth.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and just to be clear, we only have $95,000 to spend on events. So even though NOPEC has given us a $2,000 grant, that's on the revenue side. So we are asking for an increase to the expense.
Yeah,
Budget.
but then are we going to have to redo it again? Are you coming back and saying, okay, now we need the 2,000 from NOPEC moved into the expenses for that 95,000?
No.
No.
I would think of it, the way I'm looking at it and having not been here, obviously. It seems as though it was budgeted so that recreation programs would naturally allocate itself. So if you want to simplify it, you could look at it as one line item as a revenue and one as an expense, and it's all related to recreation events. And then that's dispersing to how it's allocated as it's actually spent. So that 2,000, we're not going to say exactly this was spent on this,
Okay.
but it will be spent on a recreation
Right,
program.
I agree.
And
So,
and furthermore, to expound on that, the 10,000 is not necessarily for Juneteenth. It could be spent on any event through the end of the year, because we're amending, we would be voting to amend.
No,
this grant is restricted, was.
No,
given
it's
for the
restricted
purpose
to
of-
that.
Restrictive, okay, but you're looking to amend,
You're sponsoring the main stage.
then maybe we don't have the right wording in here, because I'm seeing that the entertainment budget would increase from 95,000 to 105.
Right,
So if that 10,000 is earmarked and we have 195 for all events, should we really be looking at making a line item 10,000 just for Juneteenth? On top of
Budgeted.
95, because what I'm saying is that 10, once it's in the fund or that account,
but
that,
what Ms. Iconis is saying, it really doesn't matter because it goes into the hopper. Either you're gonna increase the yearly allotment by 10,000 to 105.
which is what
or
they're
you're-
asking.
Right, or you're not, but regardless, the 10,000 is gonna be spent on.
But I think what we need to find out and answer for you is if in this original revenue budget, that 10,000 that was received was actually part of that 30,000 in revenue. Because, and the point being, if that wasn't in the original breakout, that would then be a $40,000 potential revenue budget, which is why they're asking for the increase.
That makes sense to me.
And we have a motion on the floor.
Okay.
We need to
I'm
find out if
sorry.
we have a second for.
Could you redefine your motion for me so I understand it?
right. So I will reiterate the motion. Motion to approve the increase request for the 2025 recreation entertainment budget of $10,000 for an increase or for a budget increase from $95,000 to $105,000.
Okay, there's a motion by Mr. King. Is there a second?
Will there be more discussion?
After the, if there's a second, is there a second? I don't want this motion to fail, but
No.
I do consider we should look at the facts.
Do you want to
Table this, yeah, so I'm going to say the motion fails to get a second. Discussion can continue until we have another motion.
Okay,
And go ahead then.
I defer.
I just wanted to say that it's all well and good that we figure out where, where the funds are coming from, what the intention was with the budget. I just think that we really should have passed this motion this evening to increase the budget to honor the donation made by Dollar Bank and to allow the time for the administration to plan the event. We're saying that they can go ahead and spend the money because they haven't spent $95,000 yet, but if we don't add that $10,000 at our next meeting, then and if they plan to that we will, then there's $10,000 less in the budget for the rest of the events. So that's why I made the motion. I think the right move for us this evening would have been to approve it, figure out what the intention was, what the backstory is, because there was obviously some confusion by a number of us, the administration. The only thing I don't see as being confused is the intention of Dollar Bank to provide $10,000 to our Juneteenth celebration to enhance the event. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Sachs?
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate your input. I don't think this dishonors the Dollar Bank sponsorship at all. It doesn't diminish it at all. It's going to be used for their purpose and it's going to be greatly appreciated. I think $10,000 is nothing to sneeze at. It enhances the Juneteenth celebration, which it has done repeatedly. So thank you, Dollar Bank, and I think we honor that, and whether or not this changes the budget. The $95,000 has not been spent yet, so if something is that critical, it can go to Juneteenth. That's the discretion of the administration. So the hands aren't tied, and that there is flexibility to do what needs to be done. Too often, the cart is put before the horse. I've expressed this many times that, and so I'll let you know, this is my little pet peeve, that we are expected to vote on things with incomplete budgets, with incomplete financials. And I have a problem. You can look at my voting record. I love the project. I support it, but I need that information because it's not my money. It's our tax dollars, our residents' money. And so I prefer you're willing to do that. And it helps educate us for next year. We're even more prepared to know exactly what the conversation was, what the precedent was, and will help us make the best decision for this and every other event. So thank you.
Okay, Ms. Weiser?
I heard what you said, Councilman King, and we have in the past when additional money has come in, added to the budget for a specific event. So there is history there. I think though, because we showed it as revenue, I need to find out from the notes that we don't have in front of us what we do. We have time because the entire budget has not been spent. This is not a matter of if they can't do what they want to do for Juneteenth on the 21st. I think most of us on council are very reasonable because there's a history. Once we get it clarified, if the clarification is yes, the donation could be added, then we're going to turn around and do it. I'm not negative to that. And I need to make that clear. But I'm confused at this point. And I don't like to vote on something when I'm confused. There's a main reason. If it turns out that out of the 95, we assumed or talked about or built in that 16,000 that was showing was a part of it, actual part of it, not on top of it, then the decision we're making is slightly different. Is it a huge decision? No. In all reality, we're just saying we're going to increase one section of the budget by $10,000. And we have enough revenues that we could do that if we so choose. But I'd like to get the clarification. Am I doing it that way? Or am I doing the add-on now that the donation has become real and it's actual revenue?
I'm going to make a motion to table this agenda item so we can get further clarification from the finance director. It would be at the next meeting. Hopefully we'll have all the information we need to make a good decision. I'm making a motion to table. Is there a second?
Do you want to make a motion to table it specifically to the next meeting?
Please,
Table to the next meeting, which is what, June?
I'll second that. So we get it resolved at the
16th.
next meeting.
Okay, second by Ms. Weiser. Any discussion on the motion? Not, I'll call the roll.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Sacks.
Hi.
Mr. Rock,
Aye.
Ms. Weiser.
Aye.
Okay, that is tabled for the next meeting. Thank you very much. Next agenda item is letter F, motion to accept the Ohio EPA Recycle Ohio Source Reduction Grant in the amount of $3,310 for water bottle refilling stations at Purvis Park. Floor up to you again.
Right, yes, this one should be very straightforward. This is a grant for $3,310 for two water bottle refilling stations, combination with new water fountains as well. So it's one unit. We've got two of those at Purvis Park currently. We'll switch those out with new water fountains, bi-level water fountains that also include the water bottle refilling stations. And then there will also be signage recognizing the Ohio EPA as required by the grant.
And
I have a question. Are these, you said they're just a water bottle filling station, or are they also a water fountain that somebody can drink from?
They're a combination. So currently at Purvis Park,
Good.
there are 2 bi-level.
Yeah.
And we're going to replace those 2 units with another bi-level plus filling station unit.
Good, because the ones that are there are sort of rotty. That would be nice.
Ms. Sachs?
Thank you. I love this. This is great. I think it's helpful all around. This is the EPA Recycle Ohio grant application or something else?
This is the Ohio EPA Recycle Ohio source reduction.
Source reduction. Is this the one? Well, and I just glanced at this. It says Ms. Deanna Bremer Fisher, Executive Assistant to Mayor on Special Projects.
Mhm.
Which is it? Chief of Staff or Executive Assistant to Mayor on Special Projects? Which
Yeah.
is it?
Right. So that grant was written last year. And so that was the title then. And so the mayor has changed my title
When did it change?
about a few weeks ago.
A few weeks ago.
Mhm.
Again, you will provide that job description to us?
I will certainly let the
Okay,
mayor
great,
know that.
before the next meeting. Yes?
I
Will
let-
you?
Yes, I will let the mayor know
Okay,
that.
great. No, you. You said you have it.
I'm sorry that I have the job description.
Yes,
Yes. Okay.
and you'll provide it by the next meeting. Okay, thank you.
Mr. King?
Thank you, Mr. Rock. I just wanted to thank Ms. Bremer Fisher for getting this grant through. I love seeing all of the investments that are being made at Purvis Park between the new bike racks and now these new water fountains. So thank you for looking after Purvis Park and getting this work through. Thank you.
Is there a motion to accept the Ohio EPA grant?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. King. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Sachs. Any discussion on the motion? Not, will the clerk please call roll?
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mrs. Sacks.
Aye.
Mr. Rock,
Aye.
Ms. Weiser.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is item G. This is ordinance 2025-21, authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Ours Landscaping LLC for the 2025 yard abatement program and declaring an emergency. I spoke with the law director before the meeting. I would like to make this, change this from an ordinance to a motion so that we could pass this today. So I'm going to make a motion to revise the
Yeah,
agenda
motion
item?
to amend the item, the agenda item to turn it into a motion, and it would be a motion to authorize the mayor to enter into a contract with Ours Landscaping LLC for the 2025 yard abatement program.
And no emergency because we can't do that.
Mhm.
So that'll be my motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Weiser. Any discussion on the motion? Mr. King, you had your hand up?
Thank you, Mr. Rock. Yeah, I looked at this as well and knew that we wouldn't be able to really consider this evening as an ordinance or particularly on emergency. I looked through the previous 5 years and we had always just made a motion for this. In preparation for the meeting, I actually wrote a motion for it. And the only difference was I just had specifics for the amounts not to exceed, just matching some of the other motions that were made in the past. So just for discussion purposes, what I had was motion to accept bid from Ours Landscaping LLC for the 2025 yard nuisance abatement program with amounts not to exceed $33 per household for high grass, $33 per hour for shrub trimming, $33 per hour for leaf cleanup, and $33 per hour for debris removal.
And you can add in accordance with the terms and conditions of the
in turn, yeah,
that
so
was submitted.
with the addition that Mr. Brian added, if I wanted to amend, we have a,
I would have to withdraw my motion.
Yeah.
But I guess comments from the board here, do you have any problem with including the cap at $33 per cut per household? I think that's probably important to
I
add.
appreciate Mr. King
Yep.
taking that.
So I'll amend my motion then to, well, I'll withdraw and amend my motion. Or just
Sure.
amend. So I will amend my motion to include the not to exceed amount of $33 per household for the high grass, $33 per household for trim shrubs, and 33 per household for leaf cleanup, and $33 per household for the debris removal.
Those are per hour?
In accordance with the bid
In
submitted.
accordance with the bid.
Submitted
The high
by-
grass is per house. The shrubs, leaf cleanup and debris removal are per hour. So if you do it
I'm gonna
in
amend
accordance
to
with,
reflect that.
yes, please.
Yeah.
Ms. Sachs, you seconded my motion. Would you
Yes.
second my amended motion?
I do. I
Okay,
appreciate
so
Councilman King's efforts.
thank you.
That's the kind of thing I like.
Is there any discussion on the motion?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Ms. Davis, is this the landscaper from last year? Oh, he decided to bid? You placed the call. Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Yes, thank you.
We greatly appreciate your willingness to take it out for rebid because those bids were so high last time. I think this works, and if this is approved and it's a motion, so once that contract's signed, you can send people out to all those places that have lovely yellow tags that you're hearing about, and so am I. And I'm sure a few of else of the council people as well. Wonderful. I wholeheartedly support this motion. And thank you again.
So this,
And-
Mr. King.
and just to clarify, we're voting to
Amend.
change the
Yeah.
agenda item.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And we'll have to
It's a
vote again.
motion
We'll have to vote again.
and
to
it
pass.
has all your
Keep
stuff in
voting
it.
on this thing.
It's
So I'm gonna call roll. This is a roll for the amendment to the agenda item.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mrs. Sacks.
Aye.
Mr. Rock,
Aye.
Ms. Weiser.
Aye.
Okay, now, on the discussion item, is there any additional discussion on this agenda item? Or is there a motion to approve this motion?
I will so move.
She caught me off guard.
Baby
I'll-
duck.
Weiser, seconded by
Yes.
Ms. Sachs. Any discussion on this motion? If not, I think we've talked enough about it, so we'll call the roll.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mrs. Sacks.
Aye.
Mr. Rock,
Aye.
Ms. Weiser.
Aye.
Okay,
We are
that
done.
passes, and what a wonderful savings to it.
That was- Yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Next item on the agenda is item H. This is ordinance 2025-29. This is on second reading to amend section 220.24 of the City Administrative Code titled Conduct of Committees. We discussed this at the last meeting when it was on first reading. Is there any additional discussion?
Question for the law director. Can we table this with 4?
Yes.
Then I would move to table this.
Give a reason?
Yeah, just table it. It's on second reading. That way, otherwise, we're gonna have to vote on this next meeting, correct?
Vote on it At this meeting, if you wanted to, or you can wait till next.
Oh, we could actually, it's
on
not on,
second reading, so if it received 4 votes, it would pass. Be effective in 30 days.
Want
Okay.
to recall
I'll
your
remove,
motion?
I'll remove that in case somebody wants to actually
Okay.
move to approve it.
Okay, so there's no motion to table at this time. Any discussion on this agenda item? Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2025-29? And motion would have to be in the affirmative. So I don't support this ordinance change, but I'll make a motion in the affirmative so we can get an up-down vote. I'll move to approve ordinance 2025-29. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. King. Any discussion on the motion? Can the clerk please call roll?
Mr. King,
Nay.
Mrs. Sacks,
Nay.
Mr. Rock,
Nay.
Ms. Weiser.
Nay.
Okay, that failed. That's it, yeah. Last agenda item is motion to enter executive session for the purpose of discussing legal proceedings, personnel and real estate matters. I am not aware of any reason to go into executive session unless anybody else has any other issue. Okay. Then we will move on to reports of standing committees and taking of action thereon. Start off with building and housing.
There will be a building and housing meeting at 6 PM before the next council meeting on the 19th.
16.
16th. I never know what day it is.
Check.
The agenda will be forthcoming. We're heading towards summer session. But at least we can get some ideas on what we want to do beginning in the next year. And I think we still had a couple items from the last meeting to clear up. Do you want me to announce? the
Sure,
other?
go ahead.
And there's a joint meeting of building and housing and service and utilities to finish up the wonderful discussion on trees and hopefully maybe get started on weeds and grass. Date and time, you get to say that?
6 o'clock on June 9th, and I just sent the agenda to Kelly, Clerk of Council, Ms. Thomas, so it'll be posted. Thank you.
Okay, got it in my calendar. Thank you. Next up is community outreach. Mr. King?
Thank you, Mr. Rock. So after our last meeting, there was a doodle poll sent out for Community Outreach Committee and Tech Advisory Committee or Commission with 3 dates. Unfortunately, none of the other committee members were available on any of those 3 dates, so we have no quorum there. There are more members of the Tech Committee who responded, yes, I need to look over that list a little more. We may be able to call on one of the dates. We may be able to call just a Tech Commission meeting. We wouldn't be able to vote on anything, but I'll consider those options. There may be another doodle poll going out for this. And then in regard to the recordings of the meetings, the Teams room setup, there's still some additional tuning that Starfish is working on with the where the cameras are focused and a couple other things. I've been out of the country for most of the time since the last meeting, reached out to them since I returned and haven't heard from them yet, but hopefully they'll get back with me soon with what next steps are with that. So that is the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. King. Next up is economic development. Me and Ms. Drucker announced that we're going to have to do another doodle poll. Unfortunately, we couldn't get consensus on the date for the next meeting, so that'll be forthcoming. Is there a report for finance? Does anybody have a report? This would be for the finance committee. I don't think there was a report. Recreation, is there a report, Mr. King?
Yes, Mr. Rock. Mr. Cooney reached out to me to provide a quick report that a doodle poll would be sent out for a number of dates, potentially June 17th, 23rd, or the 26th. So look for that doodle poll for the Recreation Committee soon.
Okay, thank you. Safety, Ms. Marshall did not have a report unless anybody else has one. Service and utilities.
I think this is the first time I don't have a report. we accomplished a lot at the last committee meeting and we'll look forward to the joint committee. There's a lot to do still with trees, finish that up, and weeds.
Okay. Committee of the whole, I don't have a report. Does anybody have anything for committee of the whole? And then reports of special committees and taking of action thereon. I do have two reports. First one is there is a planning commission meeting tomorrow. At 7 o'clock. And then there is also a meeting on June 25th. This is for the Municipal Facilities Committee. FGMA will do a presentation to that committee on June 25th at 6 o'clock. Where that project is standing right now, the revised program had been approved. The FGMA, the consultants, is tasked with putting together site plans using that program of square footages. And they're putting together a number of different iterations for us to review. The actual agenda for this meeting is forthcoming, so I can't tell you exactly what's on it, but that's where we're at within the process at this point.
Right, I think it's just, they're gonna give a presentation of, the preliminary site plans and just look for feedback from the committee.
I
Um,
don't know if I'm gonna be here.
that, I've had questions from residents about the facilities committee because they can't find the agenda. Just to note, it's under special projects. If you look under special projects, you'll find the agenda and the information.
And that would be on that blue banner on the top part of the webpage.
Right.
It's not on any of the drop downs.
Right.
It's its own thing. So thank you.
Sort of buried.
It is. Any unfinished or miscellaneous business? Not, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Oh, move.
Motion by Ms. Weiser, second by Mr. King. Are you making a second? All right. Will the clerk please call roll?
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mrs. Sacks.
Aye.
Mr. Rock,
Aye.
Ms. Weiser.
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned. I'll see you on June 16th for the next regular session.
Good job, John.
8:36.
Very good.